Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. I'm just testing out some new equipment that I just, plugged in. And while I'm testing out my new equipment, I have a question. Why don't the people we elect to serve us as taxpayers fear any consequences for not serving us after being paid to serve us? Why don't so-called public servants fear consequences for violating our trust and disrespecting us as those who pay their salaries with tax dollars? What will make lawmakers and law enforcement feel that there's no repercussion for breaking laws and victimizing those who they swore that they'd protect? What and who gives them that mindset? Is it something that they're doing, or is it something that we're not doing? What gives them the courage to stand before us so boldly after violating us? Why do they have such fortitude? What will make a man or woman that people refer to as Your Honor right in front of us behave in such a dishonorable manner? Why is the government a authority as opposed to being public servants? They get paid with tax dollars, so we actually pay people to be in authority over us, disrespect us, and for the most part, not serve us. We employ and pay for our tyrants. Yet some of us call it freedom. In my honest sentiment, this is the freest dumb that I've ever heard of. We pay taxes whether we work on a job or we have a business. They still want a portion of our earnings, which is what stimulates the economy and makes the nation run, which makes us an investor, a shareholder. Yet if any of us owed the IRS, they notify us knowing exactly how much that we owe. Ourselves, because again, that money's ours. Being a government entity, we fund that too. But in order for us to receive a tax refund, we have to go to a third party, a broker, to add up what we're owed when the government already know how much they owe us in a return. But we have to go to Jackson Hewitt H&R Block, or a private broker to get us a refund. Some of us have faced prison time because we didn't pay taxes to a government that failed to serve us. As a matter of fact, the government of the United States served those who come here better and more than they served those who were born, raised, and are indigenous to this land. Immigrants get the benefits and enjoy the liberties that we pay for and defend. Don't get me started on the military. Some of the most misused people in the United States are the military. Yet some of them love it and are proud of it because they're patriots, serving to their own detriment, not fighting for freedom, justice, equality, and all the other noble things that they'll mention. Yet to establish, maintain greed, and raise some so-called white supremacy all over the world. Those people who run this society don't fear any consequences for doing any of this. They undermine the laws that they penalize us for breaking. They want to be held in high regard, but not to a high standing or standard. Who's responsible for this? Who will hold them accountable? Now, we have drones flying and hovering all over the northern tri-state area and the United States. The government is telling us that they don't know what it is and where they came from. They know what they are, but they don't know where they came from and who's responsible for the drones. Lying, straight up lying, fear-mongering in their latest psychological operation. What would make us believe anything that a constant habitual liar say? These deceptive demons, they lie naturally, with a straight face, without a flinch. Why don't they fear any consequences for all of this? When state attorneys, prosecutors present a case to the courts, whether it's state or federal, they say the people versus whoever the defendant is. Yet why do they act so favorable towards people who are supposedly public servants who break the law? Why do they protect their constituents who break the law? Why is it this game of win or lose with prosecutors and defense attorneys? If they both are seeking justice, it shouldn't be a matter of who win personally if justice is your ultimate goal. Yet this is the game that they play with our lives. There's no real consequence for that. None whatsoever. Judges can get kickbacks from private prisons or jails, whatever you want to call them, to send children to serve out sentences for minor offenses. Emphasis on the minor. Now, we must empower ourselves as the people by unifying, organizing, and establishing power that those who fail to serve us or violate the trust will have a severe consequence. Those who we elect or appoint will have to serve us, the people, and not each other, or we'll fire them as fast as Donald Trump fired any potential employee on The Apprentice. That fast. Your due process is when we hired you. If you don't do your job, you lose it. We'll find someone who's willing and qualified. Yet, who can empower us, the people? And that's us. Yet what will empower us? The answer to that question is still us. This is not about color or ethnicity, because if everybody is sick and tired of tyranny under the guise of government and are willing to stand and act, this means those who are in the rank and file also, who are pawns in the game, we will establish and exercise power. Then we can hold those accountable for those who try and punish us while doing the same thing as a so-called public servant. We can hold Phil Murphy accountable when he attempts to charge people for fraud, for getting PPP loans when he got a PPP loan for a volleyball court, which is not a business or essential item. Nothing that we need to suffice us in the state of New Jersey. Yeah, he got that from taxpayers so his daughter can play volleyball. While other people in the state of New Jersey struggle to stay afloat, he paying for sport and play. Sport and play. I have another question. Yet this question is to my people, which will lead back to the people in totality. Why don't we know that we need each other? Other people know that they need each other. They are taught that. They live by that. Yet when some of us speak about the importance of sticking together, we get self-hating, dumb Negroes talking about they don't want to hear that so-called Black power shit, while being a powerless, dependent, poor excuse of a brother depending on the government instead of uniting with their brothers and sisters and empowering ourselves. Mexicans will buy their houses on their land one by one as a family. Meanwhile, they live with each other, take care of each other, stick by each other, and they get along with each other. Because they know emphatically that no one is going to do it for them and that they need each other. Indians also. They live with each other without someone in their house causing confusion, drama, and trying to get over. They do whatever it takes to suffice their household. Even as family, our people, we look at each other as an enemy. Family can be the worst people to be around in our case. You can grow up in the same house, same mother, same father, yet you will have your enemy among you. What a harsh reality that is. Cutthroat, turncoat, non-trustworthy, disloyal, whose word is worthless. You can't depend on them sometimes for absolutely nothing besides being disappointed. That comes like tomorrow. You can depend on that sometimes for a family member to disappoint you. This is what makes us vulnerable to be mistreated. What empowers the tyrants against all of us, no matter what ethnicity. The entire world see that we don't stick together. They see the division, while the powers that shouldn't be divide and conquer all of us. Blacks, whites, Latinos, everybody. the so-called authorities who are supposed to be public servants disrespect us and violate our rights with impunity and immunity. For the most part, they get away with it. And the reason why they get away with it, because we are so divided. Us as a people and us as a society. We see men and women of all ethnicities tied to the railroad track by this society, this government on a daily basis. And we sit idly by and we watch it. No matter what ethnicity, if you see injustice occurring, we're supposed to step to that as a people. But we don't do that. We watch public lynchings conducted by the government. Unfairness conducted by the government. And we watch it and do absolutely nothing about it. This society, in all actuality, should be ashamed of itself for how it treats each other. Now, I think I hit my mark with my questions. Just something that I was pondering that I wanted to put in the minds of the people. I hope it's encouraging us to unite as a people and unite as the people. Because regardless of what ethnicity, this government will use us as a pawn and divide us against each other so they can have their way with both of us. Just consider that. Thank you for listening. Until next time, this is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.